As we've heard from the previous speakers, the shift to multi-channel is primarily a migration from a pure web-based strategy to a strategy that also involves mobile and social channels. So what I wanted to talk about a bit was how actual commerce can be transacted in a multi-channel. For some reason, Time magazine seems to think it wants to be leading the revolution here. I think the fact that Time is such a mainstream magazine is embracing this. It shows how mainstream both mobile and social has become. Up here we have Eric Schmidt, Chairman Gould, of Two Young Friends, who really has embraced, as David was saying earlier, really has embraced mobile from the Google point of view, that the answer should always be mobile first. And also we have here Mark Zuckerberg. No surprises as the founder of Facebook that he would say that social commerce is the next area that he expects to grow. But that said, on the back of the success he's had with Facebook, be few of that would bet against it. So I suppose we're not alone in thinking that there are legs in mobile and social across the world. It's a very good company here. Rather than looking forward all the time, to look back a bit to what actually has, not to ignore what has come before. If you actually look at online commerce, there really are four main pillars currently. Now, if I look back 5 years ago, there would have been only two pillars. There would have been mail order, telephone order, and e-commerce would have been two pillars of online commerce. And I'm sure from an e-commerce perspective, telephone order looks a major part of was a major part of the business back then, probably is currently. If 5 years ago you had been asked to guess what would be the next two pillars likely to emerge, you probably would have guessed mobile commerce, because everybody has said mobile commerce was the next growing technology for the last 10 years. But it would have been a very brave person 5 years ago, in the pre-Facebook days, who would have suggested something like social commerce was likely to emerge as one of the main pillars of online commerce. In fact, you probably would have guessed back then something like interactive TV was being proposed as the next big thing. And it's funny because in my notes of this I was going to say, when's the last time you heard about interactive TV? Well, this afternoon. So it's good to see that it's making something of a re-emergence in a different guise. Now if we go back to e-commerce, e-commerce is normally dated from when Amazon.com first went live, which was in 1995. And the way I work it out is, if you work out what age you were in 1995, you realize how long ago that actually was. So I recently received a CV from somebody whose date of birth was 1993, so there really is practically a generation ago that there are people who have lived their entire lives in the online environment. So, I mean, e-commerce really is it's a mature industry. I mean, it has been around for 16 years, and over those 16 years, we have learned a lot about what works and what does not. In fact, if you look at the original Amazon.com site, you'll see a lot of things that did not work. In fact, it's quite amazing that it ever managed to take off at all. So these days we've learned a lot of the metaphors that support e-commerce that we're not even aware of ourselves. When we see a little shopping cart, we know what that means. When we see a checkout, we know what a checkout means. And these are metaphors that have developed over the last 16 years. So as each new pillar develops, it builds on the experience that has actually been built up in the previous cycles. So it allows them to take off much faster. So mobile commerce can take off a lot faster than e-commerce, because it doesn't have to relearn all the rules that were learned for e-commerce. And similarly for social commerce, while it's really just starting now, and it does have the potential for explosive growth. The normal figure we used to quote for mobile commerce was expected to do in the next 5 years, but it took e-commerce to do in 15 years. I know Damien was saying they expected to overtake e-commerce this year, but maybe not e-commerce in terms of business perspective, but it's probably less than 5 years that mobile commerce will actually be the dominant element in the online business. So from a business point of view, for most businesses, all of these channels, I'm often asked which of these channels should I focus on, which is the most relevant. It really depends on your own business. They're all relevant to a degree, though the mix of channels will tend to be different from a business to business type basis. there be, now it's probably a bad question to ask, because in fact, no channel is going to win. It is the customer who will choose their most convenient channel at this stage. So if you sit back and do nothing and wait to see which is going to win out, what's happened is your competitors will be out there gobbling up the market share, which is going to be very hard to get back. So what we tend to see in the market is, as you support multiple channels, the customer chooses the most convenient channel for them at each stage, and they will hop between the different channels. So I may do some research online using the mobile channel when I'm traveling to work, but when I actually want to do the purchase, I may do that on my laptop alone, because that's the more convenient way for me, or vice versa. And the challenge for retailers is to be able to support these multiple channels for all of their users in a seamless manner. If you actually look at, there was a report from PricewaterhouseCoopers just from April last month. The key attraction of online commerce is the ability to shop whenever I want. Now, any other year if you'd ask that question, number one would probably be price and mail convenience. But this whole notion of whenever I want really ties into the fact that mobile is just built into people's heads these days. This concept of when I want to do something, I need to be able to do it, and that really is tied in with the whole concept of that mobile is just a given these days. Also, one of the main issues here is having a multi-channel strategy doesn't necessarily mean that there's more spending overall. The overall spending pie is not getting that much bigger. But what we see is consumers are concentrating their spending on their favorite multi-channel retailers. So if you're not an early adopter or do not support the channels, this means potentially losing out on your slice of the pie to your competitors. Now, one of the other issues that we see a lot is